Dear students, in this sixth semester, you have four modules to study: module number 5, module number 6, module number 7, and module number 8. The module 5 is phrases, module 6 is clauses, module 7 is coordination and subordination, and module 8 is basic and derived structure. So, in this video, we are going to learn the fifth module, that is phrases. Now, generally, you know that a phrase is a single word or a small group of words, and this group or a single word has a certain conceptual unit. It is also part of a clause. You know that the words are the part of phrases, phrases are the part of clauses, and clauses make sentence. So in the hierarchy of these grammatical units, sentence is the largest unit and at the top of all these grammatical units. Now these phrases are classified into six classes. The first is noun phrase, second is prepositional phrase, third is genitive phrase, 4 is adjective phrase, 5 is adverb phrase, and 6 is verb phrase. Now each of these phrase has a structure. Now out of these 6 phrases, noun phrase and adjective phrase and even adverb phrase have same basic structure. So you see here that this shows the structure of noun phrase, adjective phrase, and adverb phrase. Now I explain to you what does that structure mean. Here you see example, Ramakant is a head. Now this Ramakant is a head is a clause, and in this clause you have Ramakant as noun phrase. Now you see here that in this noun phrase there is a single word, and that is Ramakant, and this word is head of this noun phrase. Now see the second example, a long road, in which there are three words in this noun phrase. The first road is head word, then you have long adjective as modifier, a article as modifier, that is determiner as a modifier. In the same way, somebody handsome, in this phrase, noun phrase, somebody is head and handsome is modifier. So what does that indicate? It indicates that in all these three examples, head word is very important, essential. On the contrary, there can be modifiers or there cannot be modifiers. So this is what make this structure simple. See, in this structure you have first, at the outmost part there is a curly bracket, and then you have m. Here it means modifier, there is asterisk mark, and the curly bracket is closed. Then you have head, then you have modifier, and then you have asterisk mark. So this curly bracket shows that this element, that is modifier, is optional. It can be one or more than one. This asterisk mark shows that modifiers can be many in a phrase. So this is the structure of noun phrase as well as adjective phrase and adverb phrase. Now prepositional phrase, shortly it is called PPs, and genitive phrase, they are have just additional particle or marker. In the prepositional phrase, you have additional marker preposition. See, look at this example, the house of the famous lady. The prepositional phrase begins from the preposition, and in this example preposition is o, of. So this lady is word is head word, which is noun, famous is adjective, which is modifier, the is determiner, which is modifier, and of is prepositional. So in the similar way, in this genitive phrase you have apostrophe s, and it is additional marker that shows that it is a genitive phrase. So you have here head word, modifier and modifier. So the is again determiner, famous is adjective, which is modifier, and lady head is noun in this example. So these are the, we are going to learn these classes one by one. Now another way that is these phrases are classified are the main phrases and subordinate phrases. So main phrase is in a clause means that it is direct element of that clause. It means that it is essential element, you cannot drop that phrase from that clause. On the contrary, subordinate phrase, which comes within a phrase, it can be dropped. Now look at this example, Kavita buys many books. In this example, Kavita is noun phrase, buys is verb phrase, many books is noun phrase. So you cannot drop any of these phrase from this whole clause. On the contrary, see another example, the covers of the books are as red as blood. In this, the noun phrase begins from the covers of the books here, and within that noun phrase you have prepositional phrase of the books, which begins with prepositional of. Now you can easily drop this phrase, prepositional phrase, which is subordinate phrase. The covers are red as blood. Again, as blood is a prepositional phrase which is subordinate phrase within this adjective phrase. It can also be dropped, and this clause may simple one, that is the covers are red. So by this example you learn that a subordinate phrase is one which comes as a part of another phrase. Now what you have to remember, three things you have to remember, that phrases are put into round brackets, clauses and sentences are put into square bracket, and for grammatical unit this mark is used. Now one more thing, that there can be many subordinate phrases. See, for example, the drafting of the notice of meeting of workers in the factory, in which the noun phrase, which is the main phrase, begins with the drafting and ends with the factory. But this large noun phrase, you have first prepositional phrase that begins with of and ends with factory. Again, that in within that prepositional phrase you have of the meeting of workers in the factory. So subordinate phrases come as part of main phrase, they are within that main phrase. So there can be many subordinate phrases. What you have to remember is that for analyzing phrases, and the two important things we have to concentrate, the form of that phrase and function of that phrase. Noun phrase, prepositional phrase, genitive phrase, adjective phrase, adverb phrase, verb phrase are the forms of that label. So the first label that you find out that whether a phrase is noun phrase, prepositional phrase, or verb phrase, and you should note it at the bottom of that phrase, at the foot of that phrase. Modifier, head, main verb, auxiliary, vocative, object, object direct, indirect, these are all functional labels. You have to put these functional label short forms or the capital letters on the top of that phrase. Do you understand? So in this way you have to analyze the phrases. Okay, thank you.